Hey y'all, here's what we did. If you missed day 7, right here. So we looked at we did a few things. We wrapped up our norms, we finished up our guided notes, and we looked at the main causes of World War One. So warm up if you want to make it up. In your opinion, do you think humans are inherently or naturally peaceful or violent? You can jot that down under day 7. Then we looked at norms. We kind of agreed, we voted on the top ones. So I showed those to the class. And the last thing is we looked at your guided notes. The last thing on your guided notes was a video. There's 2 videos that we just did one because that's all we needed. But this is going to be the one that you want, World War One Oversimplified, Part 2. The details here are not as important as just the main themes. So they talk a lot about the who's invading where and moving in what direction, and all those details are not as relevant as the fact that um, a lot of people, when the war was in a stalemate or kind of a stall, started drawing in their allies from other parts of the world. So you can check that out. It's like maybe like a 5 or 6 minute video right here. At the end, there's some critical details about the casualties and the effects. Yeah, 7 minutes here. So after we did that, we looked at not this. The main causes of World War One. So here they are. Most historians agree there's 4 or 5. These are the 4 we're going to go with. Militarism, alliances, imperialism, or nationalism. A really easy way to remember this is it literally spells out Main, Main. Sometimes people also add in that assassination as another A, and they call it mania. They just kind of mix up the letters. But what we did for this is we are doing this vocabulary tool called a Freyer model that looks like this. You got this on a piece of paper today. And this is a really good tool to make sure we have mastery over really important vocabulary terms. So you can really do this in whatever order you want, but step 1, in my opinion, is just look up the word, dictionary definition, then put the definition in your own words, your own language. One thing I like to say is like, imagine you're describing this to like a middle schooler, like make it simple and easy to understand, so that anyone could make sense of it. Next is an academic sentence. This is use the word in a sentence that shows me that you know the meaning of the word. The next is an image. This could be literally some stick drawings, really simple, doesn't matter. It could be abstract. It could be a symbol. It could be whatever you want to communicate the word. The evidence shows that if you have an image in your mind, you're way more likely to remember the word. And then the last box is examples. So you might describe like what is militarism and like what might that look like. Some tangible examples. Is what goes under there. So I have an example for you right here. So I did one for a related word. I did one for trench warfare. So ideally, the word trench warfare is in the middle, right here. But basically, I looked it up. This is a Google definition. This is my own definition. This is the sentence that I use the word in. So I'll underline. A non-example of an academic sentence would be like trench warfare sucks. Like that kind of tells me you have some vague idea about what it means, but that doesn't actually tell me that you know how to use the word appropriately in a sentence. So like an academic sentence is like a high school level sentence. It could be anything that you make up. Also, an image could be just a quick sketch. Could be like another image that I thought of for a trench would be like a cross section of a trench. Like a little dip in the earth. Could be like an aerial view of a map of like 2 different trenches. And then the last thing are examples. This one was a little tricky. But like, what are some examples of like what trench warfare looks like, or what was going on in the trenches? So what I decided to put here was like what was in the trenches. There was like barracks where people slept, and there was hospitals down there. There was bridges. There was between the two, there was no man's lands between. What was like happening in the trenches? There was artillery shelling, machine gunning. And here's a typo I just noticed. So anyway, that's an example of a Freyer model. This is my example to kind of show you what yours could look like for your World War One vocabulary. So I give you the words. They're in this gray bar right there: militarism, alliances, imperialism, and nationalism. And lastly, I have two articles for you if you'd like. I have a kind of a challenge level easy, that's right here, and I have a challenge level hard, that's a little more in depth. So choose the reading level that works for you. This is all to help you do this vocabulary. So if you want to just go ahead and do the vocabulary, that's great. This article is going to help you out a lot. So if that helps, that's what we did. We wrapped up. Most students were mostly done with their Freyer model. So tomorrow on Friday, I suspect that we will finish our Freyer model. We'll take a quick quiz to make sure you know World War One, and then we will move forward if you're ready to move forward with World War Two.